Now it's time to meet this week's honoree. She's worked for almost 2 decades to help city kids read on grade level and stop what she calls a literacy crisis. Take a look.
This is New Yorker of the Week.
His murals told the story of the Mexican people.
When kids are read to at an early age, many do better in school. It's something Mimi Levin learned after working more than 15 years at the State Board of Regents.
If you don't have enough teachers in the classroom or children aren't quite ready to learn to read, it's not something you can just make a law about. We had to go figure out a way of making it happen for children who didn't have all of the advantages of having very educated and very well-off parents.
So Mimi made it happen for children living in low-income neighborhoods. In 1996, she founded Literacy, Inc., a nonprofit that focuses on helping students to read by the 3rd grade.
If you don't learn to read, you're headed for trouble. That's too bad, but it's a fact. Because in 4th grade, all of a sudden they bring in math and social studies and science.
Mimi says the key is empowering parents to invest in their students' education. Through year-long programs at dozens of schools and libraries, LINC connects families with resources in their communities.
Amigos, muy bien.
I can share time with my daughters and also help the children in the community become good readers.
The message is you can do this. You can help your children, and you don't need a lot of money. You can do this.
And thousands of families in the 5 boroughs have, thanks in part to this 86-year-old with a love of reading.
She reads books that are real and true, and so those books makes you learn more. Every book sounds interesting to me.
And so, for helping families turn the page to a new chapter of success, Mimi Lieber is our New Yorker of the Week.
Write a big fish.
And joining us now in studio is our New Yorker of the Week, Mimi Levin. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing your story with us.
Well, thank you so much, because we want as many people as possible to understand that a lot of people can help make sure that the children read on time. It isn't just the teacher when they get to school. A lot needs to happen at home and in the community.
What sparked your love of reading when you were a child?
I don't know. I just seemed to read from the time I was very small. I think I had 3 brothers, and I could be alone and quiet if I had a book.
They weren't bothering you if you took out your book. I found it really interesting when you identify 4th grade as a critical moment. And I'm assuming there have been studies on this, and it's not just something that's your idea. So why are we not focusing more on reading before the kids get to 4th grade?
Well, we have to. That's just the point. In fact, if kids don't read well by 4th grade, they're usually on a bad road. They can't do the schoolwork because they can't read it. They can't do the math. They can't do the social studies. And that's really very dangerous, and a high proportion of them don't catch up. High proportion of them run into trouble and are not as productive as they can be. And that turns out to be an economic issue for the nation. And all that depends on little kids, 5 to 8. We're counting on them to do something very difficult and that's so important to our whole nation. Turns out that it has to be done, so we need to turn our attention to making sure it gets done.
How do you get the kids' attention? Looking at some of the video, these kids are engaged. Maybe it's you. I've met you for 30 seconds before, and you got my attention quickly. How do you get the attention of these young folks?
Well, children are really very interested when they're little. They're not hard to pull at all. As a matter of fact, most parents who are educated learn that you can quiet a baby with a book. You have the advantage of distracting the child by turning pages. Kids really cotton to this. It's not hard at all. The point is that some children come from families that don't know how to do this and neglect it because they're tired, they're overworked, they come from another country and think if you don't read English well, then you can't read a picture book. Well, of course you can read a picture book if somebody shows you that you can tell the story of the pictures. So it's a question of coming from a culture that makes this easy, or for the rest of us getting involved and making sure that the children are all ready to read on time.
How can we help Literacy Inc.? Do you need volunteers? What can New Yorkers do for your organization?
Well, I think it's really important for New Yorkers to get excited about having more literacy in their communities. The community is very important to every child. My father used to say that kids need to know that a lot of people care how they turn out. That had a profound effect on me because I know it's true that children, if they see that there's a person here who's older, an older kid, a doctor, all kinds of people care about them. So that if you can make New Yorkers understand that every single neighborhood can make this happen if they work together and use the resources that exist in every neighborhood, however poor.
Mimi, I could talk with you all night, but we're out of time. So I'll say thanks to you, and we're going to get that website up on the screen for our viewers. And thank you, Mimi Lieber, our New Yorker of the Week.
Thank you so much.
For more information on Literacy Inc., you can visit lincnyc.org. And of course, if you know someone who would make a good New Yorker of the Week, write to us at New Yorker of the Week, 75 9th Avenue on the 6th floor, New York, 10011, or email us at nyer@ny1.com. That's all the time we have for now.